Hi everyone, welcome to our Deal or No Deal story time. Now today I want to address the pink elephant in the room, the commission lawsuit. I think overall this lawsuit is a good thing for the brokerage industry because it will introduce more competition, and whenever there is more competition, markets get healthier. So it's mostly the buyer's agents now need to have this direct conversation with their buyer clients about their compensation. Whereas before, some agents will say to their buyers, "Hey, just go with me." Right? They don't even say hire me because my service is free. This was really not a true statement. It was just paid. The buyer's agent fee was just always paid by the seller, and it wasn't even true to say to the buyer it's free to you because everything comes out of a buyer's offer. So, but however, I do think overall commissions will likely go down because imagine, right? Imagine a part-time agent goes to their friends and family and say, hey, hire me to buy this apartment or house for you, pay me 2.5 to 3%. And by the way, I only do this a couple times a year. Right? So this conversation probably won't go down too well. So I think that the part-time agents will probably leave the industry, and overall number of agents will decline. But for people who really do this well, they will be okay, and they'll probably do more as a result of a smaller amount of agents. Commission on each transaction will likely be a little lower, but overall, I think the industry will be okay. But how low are we talking about? Some of my seller agents, some sellers out there automatically assume, right? All of a sudden, I get 2.5 to 3% more, and that is not the case. The crux of the issue is how much value do we put onto the service of a buyer's agent. I say to my seller clients that if a buyer comes unrepresented without an agent, I need to charge you 1% more. So instead of 2.5 to 3, I charge you 3 to 3.5, right? So that equates to a savings of 1.5 to 2%. And that is just for me to answer the buyer's necessary questions, to make sure they stick to a timeline, do what they need to do to facilitate the transaction. Really not for me to babysit them, not for me to watch their interest. This is a buyer's agent's main job, is to watch their client's interest. And if a buyer's agent really does that job really well, they should get paid more than 2%. Um, so overall, I think for consumers as a whole and for the agent community, it's overall a good thing. But what's happening now is, for New York City at least, vast majority of the listings, I would say more than 95% of the listings, are still status quo. Sellers are still paying the usual 2.5 to 3% to the buyer side, and that is not because the magical date of the settlement is not here yet. It's because sellers are unsure of the consequence of not paying the other side. Right? I've definitely heard from some first-time home buyers that I barely come up with save enough to pay the down payment. I don't have another 2.5, 3% to pay my agent, but I do want an agent to watch out for me. So I tell my agent, only show me the listings that will pay you. Okay, don't tempt me with the listings that won't pay you. It's probably a minority, but we just don't know, right? If on the one hand you get 1.5 to 2% saving, and then on the other hand, is my traffic going to be affected? People just don't want to be guinea pigs at the moment, and you don't sell a lot of houses and apartments during your lifetime. So here's the now we're still kind of in the beginning, probably in a chaotic period. So we'll see what settles down, in a few months, maybe in a year's time. But so far, this is what's happening. And above is my 2-3% of the lawsuit. We'll see you next time.